everyone and welcome back to my channel, A Multilingual Baby. My name is Carolina and I've started this channel to share knowledge and practical advice on how to raise a bilingual or multilingual child. Today is going to be a continuation of our last episode looking at various language strategies for multilingual families. But this time we're going to focus on what to do if we want to introduce more than 2 languages. As always, if you enjoy the content, then don't forget to press that like button, and remember you can also subscribe to my channel to show your support. Alright, so what can we do if we want our child to speak more than 2 languages? Today I'm going to show you 4 different ideas, and hopefully at least one of them will work for you, or perhaps will inspire you to come up with your own creative solution. The first idea we've already discussed briefly in our last episode, and it's to introduce a 3rd language as your family language. So let's say you're using the one person, one language strategy and you are a German-Spanish couple. You could then add English, for example, as your 3rd language and make it your family language, meaning you would speak it whenever you're all together as a family. This works particularly well for those families where the parents anyway use a 3rd language to communicate between themselves. If you start using it from the very beginning when the child is just a baby, then it can work very well for you and it can feel rather natural for the whole family. Another solution could be to add a 3rd person to your family environment who would then provide input in that 3rd language. Ideally, this would be a nanny or a live-in au pair if your situation allows for something like this, because then they would spend a lot of time with the child and provide very natural input. In some cases, this could be a grandparent or another family relative, but of course this would require a big commitment from them because they would need to see the child at least a few times per week for a few hours. Finally, this could be a teacher if you decide to go for a bilingual preschool or school where some teachers use that language with the children regularly. And no matter who this person is, it would be great if then you, the parents, could also address that person in the 3rd language. So again, let's say your languages are German and Spanish and you've hired a nanny to speak English with the child, then you should then speak English with the nanny as well, because this way the child will associate her with that given language. The 3rd idea could be great for those parents who are using the minority language at home method. So here what we could do is actually have 2 minority languages at home and then the 3rd one acquired from the community. And this is actually something we're doing as a family. We live in Poland and our son is acquiring Polish from his preschool, his babysitter and his Polish side of the family. And then at home, we only speak English and French. The way we split it is that we speak English as our family language, and then I also speak English with my child, and then whenever my husband is alone with our son, they speak French. And then we also organize regular phone calls with the French grandparents to increase that exposure to French. Finally, you might want to try something called time and place method. So here the idea is that a certain language is associated with a certain time or place. For example, if one of the parents is bilingual and will be providing input in 2 languages, they could decide that one of the languages they speak for the majority of the time, but then apart from that, there's a certain time of day where they only use that 2nd language. So let's say your main language is English, but you'll also be providing that Spanish exposure. You would then have to pick one time of day, whether it's after lunch or after the child has had a nap, or whether it's every morning. It doesn't matter as long as it's the same every day and the child knows that this is the time when you speak Spanish together. And you could actually announce it and say, all right, it's time for a Spanish hour, for example. But it doesn't have to be an hour. It can be the whole afternoon. It's really up to you and whatever works in your situation. Another way to approach it would be not to choose one time of day, but actually swap between weekdays and weekends, for example. Or also, I've read about this one family who would speak one language for 2 weeks and then swap to the other language for the next 2 weeks. And they would do it as a family. So basically the whole family was bilingual, and after 2 weeks, on that second Sunday, they would remind themselves, all right, tomorrow, Monday, we're beginning to speak the other language. And they swapped like that continuously, and it worked really well for them. So in these examples, we associate a certain language with a certain time, but we could also associate it with a particular place. For example, we could have a Spanish corner in the house, so a little comfy place with plenty of Spanish books and games and different things to do, and then you would make time every single day to hang out in that corner with your child. And again, if this is something you do from the very beginning when the child is just a baby, it will feel very natural to them, and they will always think of that corner as the corner where we speak and play in Spanish. Alright, so today we've had a look at what to do if we want our child to speak more than 2 languages. Please let me know in the comments below if you are raising your child in 3 or 4 languages. How do you do it? And whichever strategy you choose, do keep in mind that it's very important to try and balance the language exposure as much as you can between the languages. And this is actually something we're going to discuss next time. We're going to have a look at how much exposure is actually needed for a child to acquire a language. And also we have a look at some ideas of what we as parents can do to increase that language input in the home. So see you in the next episode. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye!